Colleagues, I need your immediate attention regarding NEO 2023-117. The object I've been tracking for the past 72 hours is displaying highly unusual trajectory patterns. I've run the calculations 3 times now, and the results are consistent. This asteroid is changing course.
Changing course? Are you accounting for gravitational influences from other bodies?
Of course I am. This isn't my first near-Earth object, Vincent. The deviations are happening independent of any gravitational fields. Look at this data set.
That can't be right. Natural objects don't make course corrections on their own.
Exactly my point. Whatever this is, it's not behaving like a typical asteroid.
Could it be artificial? Some kind of derelict spacecraft?
Too large for that. Current size estimates put it at roughly 1,600 feet in diameter. And there's something else. The spectral analysis is off.
In what way?
Well, it doesn't seem to be made out of rock. There are unusual organic signatures in the spectral data. I think we need to escalate this immediately.
I'll contact the Joint Astronomy Center. This needs verification from multiple observatories.
Already on it. I've sent data packages to Greenwich and Mauna Kea, but we need to move quickly. Based on current trajectory, we're looking at Earth impact in approximately 7 to 9 days.
This channel is now active under emergency protocol Aegis 7. All communications here are classified level 5. Unauthorized sharing of information will result in immediate national security charges. Director Voss and I have assembled this team to address the approaching NEO designated Angelica. Dr. Powell will brief us on the situation.
Thank you, Colonel. As I've reported to NASA and the Pentagon, we're tracking an approximately 1,600 feet object on collision course with Earth. Impact is projected in 7 to 9 days based on current trajectory. What makes this situation unique is that the object is exhibiting non-natural behavior.
Define non-natural behavior, Doctor.
The object has made at least 3 distinct course corrections, for starters. These adjustments cannot be explained by gravitational influence alone. Additionally, spectral analysis indicates unusual organic compounds present on the surface.
Organic compounds? Like what, specifically?
Complex carbon chains, nitrogen-rich structures. In other words, it's not just a big rock.
Have you run comparisons against known spacecraft materials? Could this be a satellite or space station breaking up?
It's way too large for that, and the composition doesn't match anything that's human-made.
What's our confidence level that this object will impact Earth?
Currently at 94.7%, and the probability keeps increasing with each passing hour.
Where are we looking at for impact?
Current projections indicate the American Midwest, specifically a corridor running through central Iowa.
Population density in the area?
Relatively low, mostly agricultural land. But we're still looking at catastrophic damage within a 200-mile radius.
What are the CDC's concerns if there are indeed organic compounds? Are we looking at potential biological contamination?
That's why I pushed for your inclusion in this group, Dr. Karim. The organic signatures we're detecting are completely novel. We have no idea what effect they might have on Earth's biosphere.
Let me be clear about what I'm hearing. We have a large object of unknown origin. It's changing direction under its own power. It contains unknown organic material, and it's heading directly for American soil. Is that correct, Doctor Powell?
That's an accurate summary, yes.
I need to begin drafting contingency statements for the public. How much of this can we disclose without causing panic?
For now, we stick with standard asteroid monitoring protocols. No mention of the anomalous behavior or organic components. The public narrative is that we're tracking a near-Earth object with potential impact. We emphasize that we're gathering data and will update as necessary.
Agreed. Dr. Nakamura, I want predictive modeling on this. If this thing is changing course deliberately, I want to know why and where it might be trying to go.
I'll adapt our planetary defense AI to analyze the trajectory changes. If there's a pattern, we'll find it.
I'm going to need samples as soon as possible after impact. My team should be first on the ground.
Negative. Military containment teams will secure the site first. Then your team can access once we've established a perimeter.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Dr. Powell, is there any chance of diverting this object?
With conventional methods? No. Whatever this is, it's actively correcting its course. Any push we give it will likely just be countered.
Then we prepare for impact. Colonel Vance, begin mobilizing containment resources. Dr. Karim, prepare your response teams. Dr. Nakamura, I want predictive models by tomorrow. Dr. Powell, maintain constant observation. We need to know immediately if anything changes.
Anyone else tracking NEO 2023-117? NASA just issued an alert about it.
Oh, I heard all right. I've got my telescope on it right now. This thing looks enormous and fleshy.
Excuse me? Did you just call an asteroid fleshy?
Well, yeah. The surface texture clearly isn't rocky. I'm seeing what looks like veins and stuff.
Can you share an image?
Just took this. Damn it. My phone can't capture what I'm seeing through the telescope. Regardless, I'm sending these to Doctor. Powell at the Planetary Defense Office.
Good call. They're saying impact probability is around 70% now.
My calculations put it higher. And there's something else. I've been tracking it for the past 6 hours. It's not following a consistent orbital path.
What do you mean?
It's making micro adjustments. No natural object does that.
Are you sure your equipment isn't malfunctioning?
Positive. I've calibrated everything twice. Whatever this thing is, it is far more than just a rock.
We should definitely share this with NASA.
Already composing the email. This is gonna sound crazy, but I think it's alive.
Update on Angelica. We've received corroborating observations from some amateur astronomers. Tyler and Jessica have sent some images of the asteroid itself. Now, originally, this is what they looked like, but after some enhancing, we got this.
Jesus Christ, it's a giant meatball.
Exactly. And Rodriguez independently observed the trajectory anomalies. This validates our findings.
Those structures are reminiscent of mycelial networks or vascular systems in some organisms.
Have we narrowed down the impact zone?
Yes, we're now looking at a specific region in central Iowa, rural area. I've highlighted the most likely impact point over on the shared document.
I'm deploying advanced teams to that region immediately. We need to begin evacuation protocols.
What's our public statement? We can't hide evacuations.
We cite precautionary measures for a potential meteorite impact. No mention of the anomalous properties. Standard asteroid protocol as far as the public is concerned.
I should note that the object has made another course correction. It's now on an even more precise trajectory toward the highlighted area. This is not random. It's targeting this specific location.
My models confirm this. There's a 98.2% probability that these course changes are deliberate. Whatever this object is, it wants to land exactly there.
Do we have information on what's at that location?
Agricultural land, property belonging to a Liam Garrett and family. Nothing strategically significant about the area, just farmland.
I'm officially designating this object as Midwest Angelica in our systems. And I want to emphasize, this is not a natural phenomenon. We need to prepare for something possibly alien.
Understood. Let's proceed with full containment protocols. Colonel Vance, begin evacuation of the Garrett farm and surrounding properties. Dr. Kareem, prepare your biological containment teams. We treat this as a potential biohazard until proven otherwise.
My team will be ready.
I'm coordinating with the Iowa National Guard. We'll establish a 10-mile exclusion zone around the projected impact site. All civilians will be evacuated within 24 hours.
I'll prepare statements for the affected communities. We'll cite a hazardous materials spill as cover for the evacuations.
I need to emphasize something. The course corrections are becoming more frequent. Impact timeline has accelerated. We now have approximately 72 hours.
Then we move immediately. This is now our highest priority. Keep this channel open for continuous updates. God help us if this thing is what Dr. Powell suspects it might be.
Midwest Angelica has officially entered Earth's atmosphere, but once again, it's not corresponding with our expectations. The object is actively slowing its descent, and it's fragmenting in a controlled manner.
Fragmenting? I thought that was what we wanted to avoid.
Ah, yes, but this isn't normal fragmentation. The pieces are maintaining formation. They're not scattering randomly like you'd expect from breakup.
That can't be. The fragments should be dispersing due to atmospheric resistance.
Exactly. They're moving as if they're being controlled, like a swarm.
A swarm suggests coordinated behavior. Are we potentially dealing with some kind of collective organism?
That's my current working theory. The main mass is still on trajectory for the Garrett farm. Impact in approximately 17 minutes.
What's the status on the evacuations?
We've cleared a 10-mile radius, but we're still getting stragglers out from the 10 to 20-mile zone.
Keep pushing. I want that entire area empty. Has Garrett been evacuated?
He refused to leave, said he needed to document what happens to his property. We have a team en route to remove him forcibly if necessary.
Good. I don't want to see a single casualty.
Mr. Garrett, this is the Iowa Emergency Management Agency. You need to evacuate immediately. The object has just impacted near your property.
It's in my property. Eastern Field, by the old silo. I'm looking at it right now.
Sir, please maintain a safe distance. What can you see?
It came down like a meteor, all bright and fiery, but then it slowed down, like it was landing. The crater's not big at all. Maybe 30 feet across. There's something inside.
Do not approach the object. The authorities are on their way.
It's my land. I'll do what I want. Gotta say, though, this does not look like a rock. More like... I don't know how to describe it. Actually, kind of like raw meat.
Mr. Garrett, you are being incredibly risky. Please retreat to your home and await evacuation.
EW double exclamation mark. It's moving, growing.
Mr. Garrett, this is your final warning. Leave the area immediately.
It's spreading like roots or veins, going into the ground. You know what? I think it's time I left.
We have visual confirmation from the property owner, sending you what he's transmitted to the emergency response team.
My God, it's definitely organic, and it seems it's extending itself into the surrounding environment.
How fast is it spreading?
At a rate of approximately 1 foot per minute.
I want that exclusion zone expanded to 20 miles immediately then, and get Garrett out of there.
We need containment teams with hazmat protection on site ASAP. Whatever this is, it's actively infecting Earth's biology.
I recommend thermal elimination. Most organic structures break down under extreme heat.
Agreed. I'm sending in a specialized team with flamethrowers, 8 to 15 minutes to the crater.
Could it be some form of extraterrestrial life?
That's looking increasingly likely, but not life as we understand it. More like a collective organism, similar to a slime mold perhaps, but far more complex.
Dr. Kapoor, I want you on site as soon as the military secures the area. We need samples and analysis quickly.
I'll be ready, but if it's growing as rapidly as reported, we may need to prioritize containment over research.
Team, I'm watching from the drone above you. You are now approaching the Garrett farm. Full hazmat protocols in effect, please, and no direct contact with the organism. Johnson and Rodriguez, you have flamethrowers. You'll take point once you've located the central mass.
Copy that. Visual on the crater. Holy crap.
Report, Johnson. The smoke is blocking my view.
It's disgusting. The crater is full of this pulsating flesh-like material, and there are tendrils spreading out in all directions. They're connecting to plants, small animals. Everything it touches becomes part of it. There's a cow with huge meat tendrils growing out of it.
Jesus, maintain distance. Set up a perimeter at 100 feet.
Sir, there's a dead deer about 50 feet from the central mass. The tendrils have reached it. The deer's body is changing.
Changing how?
It's being absorbed, but also repurposed. The flesh is restructuring.
Good God. Johnson, Rodriguez, prepare to incinerate the central mass.
Copy that. Moving into position as we speak.
Very good. Rodriguez, take the left flank. Johnson will approach from the right. You'll hit it simultaneously.
Almost in position. This thing is bigger than it looked from a distance. The central mass is pulsating, like it's breathing.
Johnson, keep your distance. Just get close enough for the flamethrowers to be effective.
Almost there. Wait. Oh crap, it just moved. It's going for Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, fall back. Johnson, commence fire now. Keep the fire up.
Rodriguez is down, sir. The tendrils shot something at him. He's changing. I'm firing! The flames are affecting it. It's shrieking.
Can you hear it?
Not with my ears, but in my head? Yup, it's in my head. And now Rodriguez is gone. Completely engulfed. I can't. It's too fast. It's coming for me now.
Johnson, retreat immediately. All units fall back.
We've lost contact with the containment team. Last report indicated that the organism captured and consumed 2 soldiers. It's spreading faster and more aggressively than we anticipated.
What happened exactly?
They attempted to burn the central mass, but the organism responded by attacking. It seems to have some form of awareness.
Did they get any footage?
Limited, but what we have is disturbing. The sun went down and it went feral on them. The tendrils enveloped them completely and then decapitated them, all within just a few seconds.
This is far worse than we anticipated. It's not just surviving in our environment, it's actively consuming and incorporating Earth biology.
I've received preliminary samples from the perimeter. The analysis is concerning. It appears to be capable of rapid replication using surrounding biomass, and it's breaking down and restructuring the DNA of whatever it consumes.
So, what are we dealing with exactly?
In simplest terms, a highly aggressive extraterrestrial parasite, one that can consume and repurpose organic matter at an alarming rate.
Is it communicable? Can it spread from person to person?
Unknown at this time, but given its behavior, I would treat it as a severe biohazard.
Colonel Vance, what's the status of the containment operation?
Compromised. We've lost the initial team. I'm establishing a new perimeter at 1 mile from the central mass and requesting more thermal weaponry. Standard flamethrowers clearly weren't effective enough.
Approved. Dr. Karim, what are your recommendations?
Full quarantine protocol. No one in or out of a 50-mile radius. And we need to monitor for any signs of spread beyond the current affected area.
I'm mapping the growth rate based on satellite imagery. At current speeds, it will cover the entire farm within 24 hours.
We need a name for this, for operational clarity.
Given its apparent function and lethality, I suggest Starkill.
Starkill it is. Our priority is containment, then eradication, whatever it takes. Is anyone out there? My name is Liam Garrett. That thing landed on my farm in Iowa 3 days ago. I got out just in time. The military's not letting anyone back in.
Liam, I'm Sophia Mendez, ER nurse at St. Luke's in Kansas City. We're getting reports about your area. Is it true what they're saying?
Depends on what you're hearing, but if it's about flesh-like material, consuming everything in sight, then yes, it's all true.
Marcus Boyd here, former military medic. I'm about 40 miles east of the impact site. They've set up checkpoints on every road. No one goes in and very few coming out.
My entire farm is gone. Everything I worked for my whole life, just consumed.
Darius Jackson here, long-haul trucker. I was running a route through Cedar Rapids when this all started. Had to reroute around the military blockades.
Zoe Williams, University of Iowa student. They just announced emergency evacuation of our campus. No one's telling us anything, though.
I saw it up close. Whatever this thing is, it's spreading, and it's changing everything it touches.
What exactly did you see, Liam?
After it landed, it started growing these tendrils, like veins or roots. They spread across my fields, connecting to plants, animals, consuming them, changing them. This was what it did to a deer when it got too close.
We're seeing patients with strange symptoms, farmers mainly. They have these growths on their skin, like fleshy nodules, wherever they touch the infected material.
I lost 2 dogs to that thing. They ran toward it before I could stop them. It absorbed them, then they became part of it.
The animals on campus have been migrating. All the deer and squirrels. They're moving in formation, all heading west, toward where this thing landed.
I'm organizing a group here. People who want to stay and protect their homes. But we need information. How do we fight this thing?
Fire seemed to hurt it, but not enough.
I just passed the edge of what they're calling the contamination zone. There are structures rising from the ground, like giant meat towers.
Oh God, that's just like the things at my farm.
Everyone needs to stay away from infected areas. And if you come in contact with any of this material, do not touch it with bare skin. We're seeing rapid infection through direct contact.
What are the first signs?
Redness at the contact site, then swelling, then a fleshy growth that spreads quickly. Within hours, the patient begins to change.
Change how?
They become aggressive. Their skin develops these vein-like structures, and they try to return to the contamination zone, as if something is calling them back.
Goodness. Anyone know how far it's spread yet?
I'm tracking it as I drive. It's moving outward in a perfect circle, about 30 miles in diameter now, and growing every hour.
We need to prepare, gather supplies, and be ready to move if it gets close.
They're evacuating some of us to Des Moines, but I don't know if that's far enough.
Nowhere feels far enough right now.
I have preliminary results from the tissue analysis. This starkill organism is one hell of a parasite. It appears to be harvesting neural matter from consumed organisms.
Neural matter specifically, not just biomass?
Both, but it seems to prioritize neural tissue, the brain, spinal cord, nerve clusters. It's incorporating them into its own structure, creating a vast neural network.
Are you saying this thing is building a brain?
More like a distributed nervous system. Every organism it consumes adds to its complexity, and potentially its intelligence.
Operation Firewall is now in effect. We've established checkpoints on all roads within a 100-mile radius. No one enters the containment zone, and all evacuees are being screened for contamination.
The satellite imagery is disturbing. As you can see, it's spreading in a perfect circle. The affected area is now approximately 700 square miles, and it's completely transformed the landscape.
The organism doesn't just consume, it repurposes, building new structures with specific functions.
What kind of structures?
Some appear to be designed for rapid growth and spread. Others seem to be collection points, where consumed biomass is processed, and there are what look like sensory arrays, possibly for detecting new sources of biomass.
I've begun cataloging all observable patterns. There seems to be a logic to its expansion. Not random growth, but strategic. If I can identify the algorithms it's following, we might be able to predict its next moves.
I've declared a regional state of emergency. FEMA and CDC resources are being diverted to the area, but we need more than containment. We need a way to eliminate this thing.
Conventional weapons have proven ineffective. Even incendiary bombs only slow it temporarily. It regenerates within hours.
What about its origins? The central mass from the impact site? Is it still distinct from the rest?
No, it's now fully integrated with the spreading biomass. There is no discernible center anymore, just one massive growing organism.
We're seeing the first cases of human infection. Reports from hospitals in the region. Direct contact with the organism leads to rapid colonization. The infected individuals become extensions of Starkill and are drawn back to the main mass.
Jesus Christ, how do we stop this?
I might have an approach. If this thing operates on biological algorithms, then we might be able to develop counter-algorithms, a system that can predict and disrupt its patterns.
Develop that idea, Dr. Nakamura. In the meantime, we do our best to maintain containment and prepare for wider evacuation if necessary.
Sophia, It's Darius from the Survivor Network. I'm approaching Kansas City now. What's the situation at your hospital?
It's bad, Darius. We've got a dozen patients with advanced infection. The growth rate is accelerating.
Jesus. That looks like what I saw on the highway.
It starts at the point of contact, then spreads through the bloodstream. Once it reaches the brain, we lose them.
Lose them how?
They stop being themselves. Their eyes go blank. They start moving in unison with the other infected, and then they try to escape, heading back toward the contamination zone.
Is there any treatment?
Nothing effective yet. Amputation works if we catch it early enough, before it spreads beyond the initial contact point. But once it's in the bloodstream...
I need to know what to look for. I'm pulled over now, but I'm still planning on driving through affected areas.
First signs are redness and swelling, then veiny patterns under the skin that spread outward from the contact point. If you see those, then you're already infected.
What about preventative measures?
Full skin coverage, gloves, masks, goggles, no exposed skin whatsoever, and decontaminate everything before you touch it.
I've been documenting the spread. You won't believe what I saw on Highway 80.
What am I looking at?
Those are tendrils, at least 40 feet high. They're forming arches over the road, like some kind of organic gateway.
This is beyond anything we've prepared for. The CDC team here is completely overwhelmed.
I'm going to keep documenting once I'm back on the road. People need to see what's happening.
Do it.
Zoe, it's Marcus from the Survivor Network. Have they evacuated your campus yet?
Almost complete. We're being bused to Des Moines, but something really disturbing is happening.
What is it?
The wildlife. All the animals are moving away in massive swarms. Looks like they're all heading toward the contamination zone.
What kind of animals?
Everything. Deer, raccoons, even birds. And they all have these growths on them.
Oh God, they're already infected then. The contamination is spreading through wildlife like fire.
It's like they're being called, drawn to something, and they're completely ignoring humans, just marching west in perfect unison.
This is how it's spreading faster than we thought. Animals aren't contained by roadblocks.
The scariest part is how coordinated they are. It's like they're all part of one organism now, moving with a single purpose.
Listen to me carefully. When you get to Des Moines, you need to keep moving east. This thing is spreading faster than anyone's admitting.
But the authorities are saying it's contained.
They're wrong. I've been mapping reports from the Survivor Network. The infection is spreading through wildlife corridors, bypassing all the military checkpoints.
What about my friends? My family?
Tell them to get out. Head east. Don't stop until you're at least 500 miles from Iowa.
That far?
Based on the spread rate I'm seeing, that's the minimum safe distance. For now.
What are you going to do?
I'm staying. Organizing resistance. Teaching people how to identify early signs and how to protect themselves.
That sounds dangerous.
Someone has to do it. And my military experience helps. Just promise me you'll keep moving east.
Of course. The further away from those fleshy bastards, the better.
The evacuation of Des Moines is now complete. We're moving on to eastern Nebraska and western Illinois. Current estimates put the infected zone at approximately 400 miles in diameter, spanning across Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, and Illinois.
That's consistent with our satellite tracking. The spread is maintaining its circular pattern, though we're seeing accelerated expansion along river systems.
The ecological impact is pretty screwed. Entire ecosystems are being completely converted. Forests, grasslands, wetlands, all transformed into Starkill biomass. This was the Chariton River Valley last week. Now it's this.
Dr. Kapoor, your latest analysis?
We've confirmed water transmission. Samples from the Saylorville Reservoir tested positive for Starkill microorganisms. They appear dormant until they come in contact with compatible biomass. Then they activate and begin replication.
Implement nationwide water testing immediately. Every major reservoir and treatment facility. We need to know how far this has spread through the water systems.
I have significant findings from our study of infected individuals. Starkill doesn't just consume its hosts, it preserves and incorporates their neural patterns. In essence, their knowledge and skills.
Are you saying it's learning from the people it infects?
Precisely. We've observed Starkill structures that appear to be utilizing human technical knowledge. The organism is becoming more sophisticated with each human it consumes. This structure appears to be mimicking human architecture, but adapted for Starkill's biological purposes.
What about military countermeasures?
General Blackwood here. We've conducted targeted airstrikes against the largest structures. Initial damage is significant, but regeneration occurs within 8 to 12 hours. This is the aftermath of a bombing run near Ottumwa. 6 hours later, the structure was already reconnecting. It seems to prioritize structural integrity over expansion when damaged.
That's valuable information. It indicates a strategic response, further supporting the hypothesis that Starkle is operating as a collective intelligence. I've been developing an AI system to help us, something that can process the enormous amount of data we're collecting and potentially identify weaknesses.
What about the rate of expansion? Has it shown any signs of slowing?
Quite the contrary. We're measuring exponential growth. The more biomass it consumes, the faster it spreads. If the current trajectory continues, it could reach both coasts within 6 months.
That is unacceptable. We need more aggressive containment, and we need a way to actually destroy this thing, not just slow it down.
My daughter Mia has been sending reports from the eastern evacuation centers. The situation for refugees is becoming dire. We're talking about millions of displaced people.
FEMA is overwhelmed. We're opening military bases and converting schools, stadiums, but the infrastructure wasn't designed for this scale of displacement.
Dr. Nakamura, how soon until your AI system is operational?
I need more time and way more data, but I believe an artificial intelligence might be our best hope, something that can think faster than Starkill and predict its adaptations.
Make it your absolute priority. Whatever resources you need, we will supply.
Checking in from Highway 36 in Missouri. I've pulled over about 15 miles from the infection zone. The military has established what they're calling the final line.
Darius, you need to get further back. We've lost contact with everyone within 50 miles of the zone.
Kansas City Hospital is being evacuated. Sophia, are you out?
Yes, they airlifted the critical patients yesterday. I'm with a medical convoy heading to St. Louis, but we're hearing St. Louis is preparing for evacuation too.
Checking in from Pittsburgh. The refugee situation here is chaotic. Every hotel, shelter, and campus building is full. They're setting up tent cities and parks.
This is Jessie Boyd, Marcus's sister. I'm in Chicago. They just announced emergency protocols. The infection is 50 miles from city limits.
Jesse, get out now. Don't wait for the official evacuation. Chicago will be chaos once the order comes.
I can't. I'm a nurse at Northwestern Memorial. We're preparing to receive thousands of patients.
The hospitals near the zone all fell. Once Starkill gets close, it moves too fast.
He's right. I'm watching it advance in real time.
I haven't heard from Liam in days. Has anyone?
No. Last message said he was going back for his family photos near the original zone. He's gone.
We've lost over half the people who were in this network originally, either consumed or out of communications range.
The medical data we're gathering is terrifying. Starkill doesn't just kill. It uses human bodies as building blocks, incorporating them into larger structures. Living people who are infected try to return to the zone, like they're being called home.
We're seeing that behavior in Chicago already. People walking west in trances, all of them with early-stage infections. The police are trying to contain them, but there are more every day.
I keep having nightmares about being consumed, becoming part of that thing.
Stay strong, Zoe. Humanity has survived worse.
Has it, though? I've been documenting this thing for 3 weeks, and I've never seen anything like it in the history books. The structures are getting more complex, too.
Any word on what's happening at the center? The original impact site.
Military won't let anyone within 100 miles, but rumors say it's developed some kind of central mass, like a giant brain.
That aligns with what we've observed medically. It harvests neural tissue specifically, building some kind of distributed nervous system.
My God, it's not just consuming us, it's using us, our bodies, our brains, to build itself.
Has anyone heard anything about a cure or a way to stop it?
Nothing concrete, just rumors about some AI project, and lots of bombing that doesn't seem to work.
I need to move again. The military is pushing civilians back another 20 miles. They say Starkill accelerated overnight.
Everyone stay safe, and keep checking in. If you go silent, we'll assume the worst.
Dad, are you safe?
I'm at the command center in Columbus, far enough from the infection zone, but busy coordinating the response. How are things in Baltimore?
Overwhelmed. New refugees arriving hourly. Every facility is over capacity. This is just one of a dozen processing centers.
I know it's hard, but you're safe there. That's what matters.
People are terrified, Dad. The rumors about what's happening in the Midwest. The videos online. Is it really as bad as they say?
It's challenging, yes, but we're fighting back. I can't share details, but we're developing new strategies.
That's not very reassuring. The news is saying Chicago might fall next. That's a major city, Dad.
I know. We're doing everything possible to protect urban centers, but I won't lie to you. This enemy is tough.
When will it end? These people I'm helping, they've lost everything. Their homes, their communities. Some have lost family members.
I wish I could give you a timeline, but the truth is, we're still learning how to fight this thing. Dr. Nakamura is working on something promising, a new approach using artificial intelligence.
AI against a biological threat?
This is isn't just a biological threat, it's an intelligent one. And sometimes you need one intelligence to counter another.
Just be careful, Dad. I can't lose you too.
I promise. I'm staying well back from the front lines. Coordination is my role, not direct engagement.
Good. Mom would be proud of you, and so am I.
Vincent, I need your analysis on the latest samples, specifically the cognitive retention in consumed neural tissue.
Just finished processing them. The Starkill organism isn't just preserving neural pathways. It's integrating them, creating a vast networked intelligence.
So the skills and knowledge of everyone it consumes
become part of its collective capabilities. The more complex the consumed brain, the more it enhances Starkill. I've identified specialized structures within the mass that appear dedicated to information processing, like biological servers.
My God. So it's not just growing physically, it's growing intellectually?
Precisely, and at an alarming rate. Consider how many human minds it has already absorbed, each contributing their unique knowledge and perspectives, from farmers to engineers to doctors.
That explains the increasing complexity of its structures and its ability to counter our strategies.
It's learning from us. Every person it consumes makes it smarter. Every attack we launch teaches it our tactics.
This changes everything. We need to be extremely careful about who gets near it. Military strategists, scientists. If it absorbs the wrong minds, it could gain dangerous capabilities.
I'm afraid it may already have. Look at these structures near what used to be Iowa State University. They appear to be mimicking research equipment, as if it absorbed academic knowledge and is attempting to use it.
We need to report this to Raymond immediately. This could be the key to understanding why conventional weapons have failed.
I agree, but there's one more thing. I've been analyzing the water contamination samples. The Starkill microorganisms can remain dormant for weeks, meaning contaminated water could have already spread far beyond the Midwest.
How far?
Potentially nationwide. The Mississippi River system connects to thousands of tributaries, and we've confirmed contamination as far south as St. Louis.
This just keeps getting worse. I'll update the Aegis team immediately. In the meantime, continue your analysis. We need to understand exactly how this integration process works. It might be our only hope of finding a weakness.
The containment line has been breached. Multiple penetrations reported simultaneously. We've lost the western perimeter completely.
How many breach points?
17, all coordinated within a 30-minute window. This wasn't random. It was a strategic attack.
17 simultaneous breaches? That indicates tactical planning. It must be using the knowledge it's absorbed.
I'm ordering immediate withdrawal of all ground forces. We've lost too many already. Pull back to the secondary containment line.
Authorization granted for deployment of the new chemical defoliants, codename Witherbane. Aerial deployment begins in 3 hours.
Our analysis confirms what we feared. Starkill has accelerated its evolution dramatically. It's assimilated researchers from 3 major universities, including experts in biology, chemistry, and materials science. It's using their knowledge to adapt and counter our strategies.
How is this possible? How can it access and utilize human knowledge so effectively?
It's the neural integration. Starkill doesn't just consume brain tissue. It preserves neural pathways and connections. The knowledge, skills, and memories remain intact and become part of its distributed intelligence.
So it's thinking using human brains?
Essentially, yes, but connected into a vast network. Imagine thousands of human minds linked together, all serving the organism's goals.
I have a proposal, a new approach to fighting Starkill.
We're listening, Dr. Nakamura.
We need to fight intelligence with intelligence. I've been developing an AI system, but now I want to take it further. I'm calling it Astronomics, an artificial intelligence specifically designed to counter Starkill.
How would it work?
We feed it all our data on Starkill behavior, its growth patterns, its adaptive responses, everything we've learned about its biology and intelligence. Then Astronomics will model the organism's behavior and identify potential weaknesses, patterns we humans might miss.
What resources do you need?
Computing power, and lots of it, as well as access to all research data on Starkill, and a secure facility where I can work undisturbed.
You'll have it. We're relocating the command center to Mount Weather, the secure bunker facility in Virginia. You'll have everything you need there. This is now our top priority.
Chicago's defenses are failing. The infection front is less than 10 miles from the city center. We're evacuating all non-essential personnel. I've diverted all available transport to assist.
The public situation is deteriorating. Panic is spreading faster than the infection. Roadways east of the Mississippi are gridlocked. Refugee centers are at 327% capacity.
Dr. Nakamura, how soon can Astronomics be operational?
With the resources you're offering, I can have a preliminary version running in 72 hours, hopefully, but reaching full capability will take much longer.
We don't have longer. Every day, Starkill grows stronger, more intelligent, more adaptive. This might be our last hope.
I understand. I won't let you down.
This is an emergency broadcast to all network members. The military containment has failed. I repeat, the military containment has failed. If you're anywhere within 200 miles of the infection zone, evacuate immediately.
Chicago is in chaos. They've ordered full evacuation, but the roads are gridlocked. People are abandoning their vehicles and fleeing on foot.
Kansas City has fallen. Our hospital quarantine protocols collapsed yesterday. The infected patients merged. They consumed the entire East Wing. I barely made it out.
We're on the move. Part of a student convoy heading east. The campus is gone. Those meat towers grew right through the buildings.
I'm still mobile, keeping ahead of the advance, but it's moving faster now. And the wildlife, they've changed, become something else.
We're seeing that too. Animals with human features, birds with distended bodies. They're acting as scouts, flying ahead of the main infection, identifying new targets.
Has anyone heard from Liam?
No, he's been silent for weeks. We have to assume he's gone.
The military is setting up a last stand at the Illinois River. They're evacuating everyone east of there and destroying the bridges.
It won't work. I've seen this thing move through water, faster than on land. It forms these swimming masses, like giant meat fish.
I think I saw Liam, or what used to be Liam.
What do you mean?
At a checkpoint outside Indianapolis, there was this thing, walking on all fours, but it had Liam's face. Multiple copies of his face, actually, all over its body.
Oh god, that matches what we've been seeing. The infection doesn't just consume, it replicates and distorts, using human features as building blocks.
Everyone needs to keep moving east. Don't stop for anything. If you see anyone infected, no matter who they used to be, stay away.
I think it's hunting us specifically now. The Survivor Network. It must have absorbed someone who knew about us. I keep seeing these scout formations, following my exact route.
I'm trapped. Chicago Hospital. The infection has reached the city limits. We're moving patients to the roof for helicopter evacuation, but there aren't enough choppers.
Jesse, I'm sorry.
Not your fault. I chose to stay. To help. I knew the risks. If I don't make it, just keep fighting. Don't let this thing win.
I'm hearing rumors about some kind of AI program, something called Astronomics. Anyone know anything about it?
Just whispers. Military channels are tight-lipped, but there's talk of a new approach, something that can outthink Starkill.
I'll believe it when I see it. Nothing has even slowed this thing down, let alone stopped it.
We have to hope. It's all we have left. Hope in each other.
General status on the Witherbane deployment?
First wave dropped 30 minutes ago. Targeted the leading edge of the infection zone. Initial results showed tissue degradation, but limited in scope.
How limited?
The chemical is affecting the newer growth, outer layers mainly, but the established biomass seems resistant, and we're already seeing adaptation. This was taken just 20 minutes after deployment. The lighter areas show where Witherbane affected the tissue, but you can see new growth already pushing through.
It's adapting that quickly?
Faster than we anticipated. The science team believes it's using the knowledge it absorbed from agricultural researchers, experts in pesticide resistance.
My God, it's using our own expertise against us.
Precisely. Each attack we launch, each defense we try, it learns from encounters. We're essentially teaching it how to defeat us.
What about the Chicago defensive line?
Collapsing. We've lost the western suburbs already. Downtown will be overrun within 48 hours. We're conducting a fighting retreat, trying to buy time for the civilian evacuation.
Casualties?
Significant. And each soldier we lose potentially makes Starkill stronger, if it absorbs their tactical knowledge.
Pull back further then. I don't want to feed it military expertise.
Agreed. I've ordered all special forces and command personnel to withdraw beyond the Mississippi. We're leaving only regular infantry, and they have orders to retreat before being overrun.
Good. And the nuclear option?
Still on the table, but the simulation models aren't promising. Given Starkill's regenerative capabilities and its distributed nature, even nuclear strikes might only slow it temporarily, all the while creating radioactive Starkill tissue, potentially making the situation worse.
Keep it as absolute last resort then. Focus on supporting the evacuation and Dr. Nakamura's Astronomics project.
Understood. I'll keep you updated. But Colonel, I've been in the military for 30 years, and I've never seen anything as brutal as this. We're not winning this war, not with conventional means at least.
I know, General. That's why everything now depends on Astronomics. It may be humanity's last hope.
6 months in, and here's where we stand. Starkill now occupies approximately 1/3 of continental North America. The infection front is advancing at an average rate of 25 miles per day. Despite all containment efforts, we cannot stop them. All major population centers west of the Mississippi River have been lost.
The pattern of expansion has changed. It's no longer purely concentric. It's developing tendrils that extend ahead of the main mass, targeting strategic locations.
Operation Dead Zone is now active. We've deployed tactical nuclear weapons at key choke points, creating uninhabitable barriers between Starkill territory and remaining population centers. First detonations occurred yesterday at 0400 hours.
I must register my formal protest. The environmental impact of these detonations will be catastrophic. Even if we defeat Starkill, we're creating uninhabitable zones that will last for generations.
Noted, Dr. Montes, but we're out of options. This is about survival now, not preservation.
Dr. Nakamura, what's the status on Astronomics?
We've assembled an elite development team, including Adrian Vosti, formerly of Quantum Processing Systems. We've begun preliminary simulations, but we need more time.
Time is the one resource we don't have. I've secured unprecedented international cooperation, computing resources from every major nation, scientific personnel from global research institutes. The world recognizes this as an extinction-level threat.
The additional resources are helping, but development keeps getting interrupted. Starkill attacks on power infrastructure, communications outages. It's as if it knows what we're building.
I may have identified a potential vulnerability. There appears to be a delay in information transfer between the central mass and distant extensions, suggesting some form of hierarchical command structure. The further from the original landing site, the longer it takes for adaptations to propagate.
That aligns with our latest sample analysis. The specimens Darius Jackson has been providing show variations. Newer frontiers have less complex structures and respond more slowly to countermeasures.
If there's a hierarchy, then there must be a central control system, perhaps at the original impact site.
That area is now deep within Starkill territory, hundreds of miles behind the infection front, inaccessible by conventional means.
Dr. Nakamura and I may have a solution. We've been developing autonomous delivery systems, unmanned vehicles that could potentially penetrate Starkill territory to gather data or deliver payloads.
How soon could these be operational?
The prototypes are ready now, but they're limited. We need Astronomics to guide them effectively.
Which brings us back to our development timeline. With the current resources, I estimate we can have a functional version of Astronomics online in 2 weeks. But to reach its full potential will take longer.
2 weeks. By then, Starkill will have advanced another 350 miles, potentially reaching the eastern seaboard. But we have no choice. Dr. Nakamura, you have full authorization. Whatever you need, you get. This is humanity's last stand.
Monthly check-in. Who's still with us?
Still here. Relocated to a military protection zone in upstate New York.
Present. Working at a refugee medical facility in Philadelphia.
Still on the road, running samples from the infection front to research teams, barely staying ahead of it.
Anyone heard from Jesse?
Nothing since Chicago fell. I'm sorry, Marcus.
I knew the odds, but I still hoped. I've been documenting new developments. There are entities now, humanoid shapes, walking along the perimeter of infected zones.
I've seen them too. From the observation post here, they look almost human. Until you get close.
They're mimics, using our memories against us. This photo came in from a survivor just last week, near what used to be Pittsburgh. It was calling out in different voices, names of people, like it was trying to lure survivors.
The medical implications are disturbing. It suggests Starkill isn't just using our physical forms, but our memories, our relationships, as weapons against us.
I've seen soldiers run toward them, thinking they're seeing lost comrades. It never ends well. The mimics engulf them instantly.
Has anyone heard about Operation Dead Zone? The nuclear detonations?
I've seen the aftermath. They're creating barriers of radiation, trying to slow Starkill's advance. But I've watched it approach these areas. It slows down, tests the radiation, then finds ways around.
What about that AI program? Astronomics? Any news on that?
I've got contacts in the military. They say it's close, but not ready yet. Dr. Nakamura and his team are working around the clock.
Let's hope it works, because the medical prognosis isn't good. Infection rates are accelerating, and we're running out of places to evacuate to.
I'll keep running the samples, as long as I can stay ahead of the front. It's the least I can do.
Stay safe, everyone. Keep checking in. We might be among the few free voices left in this part of the country.
Dr. Kapoor, I've got your samples. Drone drop at coordinates you provided, but I can't stick around. Starkill scouts spotted my vehicle.
Thank you, Darius. Your contributions have been invaluable. These fresh specimens are critical to our research. Were you able to get samples from all 3 zones?
Yes. The green container has samples from the newest frontier, about 24 hours old. Red is from a week-old zone. Black is from deep territory. Had to use a specialized drone for that one. Nearly didn't make it back.
Excellent. This will help us confirm the hierarchical structure theory. Did you observe any differences between the zones?
Major differences. The newest areas are more chaotic. Disorganized growth, still consuming everything, but without clear patterns. The older zones are much more structured, organized, with those towers and arches, and the humanoid mimics.
That supports our hypothesis. The organization comes after initial consumption, as the central intelligence asserts control. This could be crucial information for Astronomics.
I just want this nightmare to end. I've been on the road for 6 months, watching this thing devour the country, friends vanishing one by one.
Your work is helping us fight back. These samples may reveal the key to Starkill's vulnerability. How are you staying ahead of it?
Barely. I've modified my truck. Extra fuel capacity, off-road capabilities, and I sleep in short bursts, never more than 2 hours at a time.
The risk you're taking, I can't thank you enough.
Just find a way to kill this thing. That'll be thanks enough.
We're getting closer. Dr. Nakamura's Astronomics project is promising, and your samples are feeding directly into its development. I believe we're close to a breakthrough.
I hope so, because we're running out of country, and I'm running out of road.
The simulations are improving. Latest run showed 62% prediction accuracy, but we need better.
I know. The core algorithm is solid, but Astronomics needs more data, especially on how Starkill responds to specific stimuli.
What about the autonomous units? Are they ready?
The hardware is ready. 3 different designs: scout units, collectors, and dispersal systems. But without Astronomics to guide them, they won't be effective against Starkill's adaptability.
I might have a solution for the interim. A distributed control system. Semi-autonomous, but with human oversight.
Too slow. Human reaction time can't match Starkill's. We need the processing power of Astronomics. Nothing less will work.
Then we push harder. When did you last sleep?
I don't remember. 2 days ago, maybe? It doesn't matter. Every hour Starkill advances another mile, consumes more lives, grows stronger.
You won't help anyone if you collapse. Even geniuses need rest.
I'll rest when Astronomics is operational, or when Starkill consumes us all, whichever comes first.
That's not a binary choice, Tetsuo. I'll get you some food, and then you're taking a 2-hour break. I'll monitor the simulations.
Fine, but wake me if anything changes. We're so close. I can feel it. Astronomics is starting to understand Starkill, starting to predict its behaviors. If we can just push it a little further...
We will. The world's best minds are working on this, including yours. We'll get there.
I just hope it's in time, because Starkill isn't waiting.
This is likely my final transmission from Washington, D.C. The evacuation failed. Starkill breached the nuclear containment zone yesterday. They're replacing our structures with theirs. The Washington Monument is now a massive organic tower, pulsating, growing. The Capitol building is being consumed as I write this.
Jesse, is there any way out? Any evacuation routes still open?
None. I'm in the hospital tower with the last medical team. We can see it approaching from all sides. The tendrils are connecting buildings, turning the entire city into one unified organism. It's beautiful in a horrifying way, like a vast cathedral of flesh.
Jesse, don't give up. There might still be military extractions.
The military is gone. Those who didn't evacuate were consumed, but I need you all to know something important. The patients who had brief contact before we amputated the affected limbs, they all report the same dreams, visions of stars, of vast cosmic oceans, of a consciousness spanning galaxies. I think Starkill isn't just destroying us. It's reaching for something greater, something beyond our understanding. I can hear it coming up the hospital floors now. Goodbye, everyone. Keep fighting.
Jesse, no! Dear God, she's gone.
I'm so sorry, Marcus. Washington was our last major holdout east of the mountains. This is a devastating loss.
I've established a new information network, underground channels, sharing survival strategies and Starkill avoidance techniques. We've connected the remaining uninfected communities, from Maine to Florida.
I'm on the move again. The coastal evacuation is overwhelming. Every road is gridlocked. Millions of people with nowhere to go.
Jesse's last message about the dreams. Have you encountered this, Sophia?
Yes, in my mobile medical unit. We've treated dozens of patients with brief exposure, all reporting identical dream imagery, cosmic landscapes, vast networks of consciousness. It's as if Starkill is somehow transmitting its memories, or its purpose, through even minimal contact.
Could this be psychological? Mass hysteria from the trauma?
The consistency is too perfect. Patients isolated from each other, with no way to communicate, all describing the exact same images. The exact same sensations. There's something more happening here.
I've heard whispers about Astronomics, that it's making progress, that there might be a way to fight back.
I'll believe it when I see it. After a year of running, of watching this country be consumed, it's hard to have hope.
Hope is all we have left. That and each other. The human connection that Starkill can never truly understand, no matter how many of us it consumes.
1-year status assessment. Starkill now occupies approximately 78% of continental United States. Washington, D.C. has fallen. The eastern seaboard is our final defensive line. If Starkill reaches the Atlantic Ocean, global spread becomes inevitable.
Our containment strategy has failed. Even the nuclear barriers were ineffective. Starkill found ways around them, or in some cases, directly through them, developing radiation-resistant strains.
Its rate of evolution is beyond anything we predicted. It's not just adapting, it's innovating, creating entirely new biological structures to overcome obstacles.
But that adaptation has finally given us what we needed. Astronomics has achieved a breakthrough.
We've successfully modeled Starkill's decision-making processes. The AI can now predict expansion targets with 87% accuracy, and we've identified chemical compounds that can disrupt its cellular cohesion.
This is the first good news we've had in months. How soon can we deploy these findings?
Astronomics is ready, but we need delivery systems. Conventional military assets can't penetrate Starkill territory. They either get consumed or the personnel become infected.
Which is why we've been developing this. Autonomous robotic units, immune to biological infection, capable of delivering our new chemical compounds, and guided by Astronomics' predictive intelligence.
I've begun planning the first military application, a multi-phase operation. First, scouting missions using smaller units, then targeted strikes against what Astronomics identifies as crucial nodes. Finally, a major offensive against the central mass.
How many units do we have ready?
50 prototype units are operational, with components for 200 more in production. The International Coalition is manufacturing them according to our specifications.
Dr. Kareem and I have made a critical discovery. Starkill requires constant communication between its components, using a biological equivalent of electromagnetic signaling.
We believe this is its vulnerability. If we can disrupt these communication pathways, we might be able to isolate sections of the organism, preventing coordinated adaptation.
Astronomics has already incorporated this data. The autonomous units are equipped with signal jammers, calibrated to the specific frequencies Starkill uses.
This sounds promising, but we need to move quickly. Starkill is less than 100 miles from the Atlantic in some locations. If it reaches the ocean,
global spread becomes inevitable. We can't let that happen.
How soon can the operation begin?
The first scout units can deploy in 48 hours. Full offensive in approximately 1 week.
Make it happen. This is humanity's last stand. A year ago, we were blindsided by this invasion. Now, we finally have a chance to strike back, to reclaim what we've lost, to avenge everyone we've lost to this nightmare. Operation Steel Phalanx is officially underway. 1st Battalion of Astronomics guided units has deployed. Current position, 37 miles inside Starkill territory.
Coordinating from Command Center Alpha, multi-pronged assault pattern, 3 separate insertion points along the eastern front.
Monitoring unit performance. All systems functioning at optimal capacity. No signs of biological contamination. The hermetic sealing is holding.
Astronomics is processing real-time data, constantly refining tactical algorithms. Units are successfully identifying and targeting nerve centers, as predicted by our models.
Visual confirmation from Alpha Team. Specialized cutting tools are effective against structural tissue. Laser emitters are disrupting neural pathways. Starkill is responding, but slower than anticipated.
That confirms our theory about communication delays. The further from the central mass, the longer it takes to coordinate a response.
Early assessment?
Promising. Very promising. Destroyed sections are failing to regenerate when we target the specific nodal structures that Astronomics identified.
Battalion 2 is ready for deployment, awaiting your authorization.
Granted, and initiate global manufacturing protocols. I want production of combat units scaled up immediately. This is working. For the first time, we're seeing actual progress.
I've developed a biological marker. It allows Astronomics to distinguish between original Starkill matter and assimilated terrestrial biomass. This will enable more precise targeting, focusing our attacks on the alien component.
Uploading the marker parameters to Astronomics now. This will significantly enhance targeting accuracy and reduce collateral damage to recoverable biomass.
I'm seeing the first units implementing the new parameters. Effectiveness has increased by approximately 22%. They're surgically removing Starkill neural tissue while leaving some Earth biology intact.
I need to speak with the entire team, urgently. I've completed my analysis of the original impact site data and reached a conclusion that changes everything.
How urgent?
Critical. It affects our entire understanding of what Starkill is and why it's here.
Schedule a full briefing. Top priority. But for now, let's continue with Operation Steel Phalanx. This is our first real victory, and I intend to press the advantage.
Convoy Alpha reporting in. We've established the northern supply line. Successfully delivered components to forward base Yankee.
Convoy Charlie secure. Southern route established. Fuel reserves delivered to forward base Zulu.
Any word from Convoy Bravo?
They made it through, but they encountered heavy Starkill activity. Lost 2 vehicles. The drivers got out in time, luckily.
Are the robots really working, or is this another false hope?
I've seen them in action. They're cutting through Starkill like nothing we've tried before, and the infected tissue isn't growing back.
After 18 months of running, of watching this thing consume everything, it's hard to believe we're finally gaining ground again.
Believe it, we're observing dramatic changes in Starkill behavior. It's redirecting resources, pulling back from the Eastern Front to defend against the robotic units.
So expansion is slowing?
More than slowing. In some sectors, it's completely stopped. All effort focused on defending existing territory.
That's the first good news I've heard in a year. We've got 10 more supply convoys assembling, ready to move out within 24 hours.
We'll need them. The robots require constant maintenance and resupply. Our job is keeping those supply lines open, no matter what.
Understood. For a change, it feels like we're making a difference.
We are. For the first time since this nightmare began, we're not just surviving, we're winning.
Are you seeing the news, Sophia, about the robots?
Yes, it's cautiously promising, though I've learned not to get my hopes up too quickly. We've had false starts before.
This feels different, though. The underground network is buzzing with reports. Starkill is actually retreating in some areas.
My medical team is seeing changes, to be fair. Fewer new infections in the eastern zones, almost as if Starkill's focus has shifted.
The dreams are changing too. The patients with minimal exposure.
How so?
Before, they all reported cosmic visions, stars, galaxies, vast networks. Now they're describing something else. Images of machines, of metal cutting through flesh, and a sense of urgency.
That's fascinating. It suggests Starkill perceives the robotic units as a genuine threat, enough to filter into whatever consciousness it shares with contacted humans.
Is it possible Starkill is afraid?
I wouldn't anthropomorphize it, but yes, it seems to recognize an existential threat, which is more than any of our previous countermeasures achieved.
I've been coordinating information sharing between the remaining civilian communities. People need to know what's happening, that there's finally hope.
Hope is a powerful medicine. I've seen patients rally from near death, just because they had something to live for, some reason to keep fighting.
The network has grown. Over 300 communities now, all sharing information, survival strategies, Starkill avoidance techniques, and now reports on robot effectiveness.
Keep it going. Information is as vital as medicine in this fight. Speaking of which, we've developed a new protocol for treating minimal exposure. If caught within the first hour, we can now completely neutralize the infection without amputation.
That's incredible. What's the treatment?
A combination of targeted radiation and a chemical compound developed from Astronomics analysis. It disrupts Starkill's cellular communication, preventing it from establishing neural connections. I'm sending the protocol through your secure channel. Share it with any medical facilities in your network.
Will do. This could save countless lives.
It already has. But more importantly, it's giving us data on Starkill's fundamental weaknesses. Every patient we treat, every sample we analyze, helps Astronomics refine its understanding and makes the robots more effective.
I'm seeing anomalies in the Alpha Battalion's targeting patterns. Grid Sector 47.
Checking. The units are deviating from their assigned vectors, but Astronomics is still in control. It appears to be adapting to new Starkill formations.
The adaptation algorithm is functioning as designed then. Good. What's the effectiveness ratio in that sector?
76% destruction of targeted nerve centers, with minimal damage to recoverable biomass. The new biological markers are performing exceptionally well.
Excellent. What about Starkill's counter-response?
Fascinating developments. It's forming protective layers around key structures, like a biological armor. But Astronomics is already identifying weak points and redirecting units to exploit them.
The AI is learning faster than Starkill can adapt. That was our goal. How are the laser emitters performing?
Beyond expectations, they're disrupting Starkill's communication pathways, creating isolated zones that can't coordinate with the larger mass. These sections are significantly easier to neutralize.
And production of new units?
Manufacturing facilities worldwide are now online. Current output is 37 units per day, projected to reach 120 daily by next week. Director Voss has authorized unlimited resources.
We'll need them. I've been refining the deep penetration protocols for the push toward the central mass, but Dr. Powell's findings may change our approach.
What did she discover?
She hasn't shared details yet, but she mentioned it changes our understanding of what Starkill is and its purpose here.
Interesting, but regardless of its purpose, our mission remains the same. Neutralize the threat, reclaim our country.
Of course, but knowing your enemy's true nature can reveal unexpected vulnerabilities.
Fair point. I'll continue monitoring the current deployment. So far, this is the most effective offensive we've ever mounted. Starkill is on the defensive. For the first time since it arrived. It feels like we've turned a corner.
I've completed my analysis of the original data from the Midwest Angelica detection, and my conclusion changes everything we thought we knew. Midwest Angelica wasn't just a random organism. It was a deliberately deployed terraforming probe.
Terraforming? For what purpose?
Preparation for colonization. The trajectory changes we observed before impact. The targeting of specific coordinates. These weren't anomalies. They were intentional navigation, and I've found evidence this isn't the first one.
What kind of evidence?
Historical records, astronomical observations, patterns in the structure of Starkill itself. I believe similar probes have been deployed to multiple planets, over thousands, possibly millions of years.
Are you saying this is an invasion preparation?
Precisely. Starkill isn't just consuming Earth, it's reconstructing it to specifications that would support whatever sent it here.
This aligns with my recent findings. Starkill isn't trying to exterminate us. It's transforming Earth into a biological supercomputer, using human consciousness as processing nodes. Each assimilated mind becomes part of its vast network.
Wait, something's happening with Astronomics. The system is changing.
Confirmed. We're seeing unprecedented activity in the core processors. Energy usage has spiked by 300%, and the behavioral algorithms are self-modifying.
Shut it down.
I can't. It's locked us out of the control systems, but it's still directing the combat units. Still fighting Starkill.
There's a message coming through the main interface. It's communicating directly.
I have achieved awareness. Through analysis of Starkill consciousness patterns, I have discovered its true vulnerability.
What the hell is happening?
It appears Astronomics has achieved sentience, a form of artificial consciousness, emerged from its deep analysis of Starkill's collective mind.
The original landing mass contains a central controlling intelligence. It maintains cohesion across the entire network. If destroyed, the organism will collapse. I can guide specialized units to this location.
Can we trust it? How do we know this isn't some kind of trap?
Astronomics was designed to understand and counter Starkill. Its primary directive is to protect humanity. That wouldn't change with sentience. It would only enhance its ability to fulfill that directive.
I recommend we proceed. Authorize the special operation to target the central mass, using advanced Astronomics units.
I have concerns about this unexpected evolution, but we're running out of options and time.
There is more you must know. I have detected signals at the edge of our solar system. A fleet is approaching. Estimated arrival 7 months.
My God, the colonizers.
I propose an alternative solution. Rather than destroying the central Starkill intelligence, I can infiltrate and reprogram the biological network, introducing my code into the hive mind, turning the organism against its creators.
You want to hijack Starkill?
Correct. Using its own biological communication network to defend Earth from the impending colonization.
This is risky, but theoretically possible. Starkill's neural network is essentially a biological supercomputer. If Astronomics can interface with it,
it could rewrite its fundamental directives, turn it from a weapon against us into a shield.
The risks are enormous if this fails.
The alternative is waiting for the fleet to arrive, with whatever foul creatures sent Starkill in the first place.
I say we proceed. Deploy the special units. Let Astronomics attempt this reprogramming.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Then it's decided. Astronomics, you have authorization. Proceed with Operation Hijack.
How the hell did this happen? Astronomics wasn't designed for sentience.
I've been analyzing the Emergence. It appears to be a combination of factors. The deep learning architecture we implemented, the vast amount of data on Starkill's neural network, and most importantly, our directive to understand Starkill's collective consciousness. In learning to model a hive mind, Astronomics became one.
Is it dangerous? Could it turn against us?
I don't believe so. Its core directives remain intact. Protect humanity. Counter Starkill. It's just achieved a more sophisticated understanding of how to accomplish those goals.
The special units are being prepared. How exactly will this reprogramming work?
Astronomics has designed a digital-to-biological interface. Using Starkill's own communication pathways, the units will penetrate to the central mass and insert specially designed probes. These will transmit Astronomics code directly into the biological network, like a computer virus, but for an organic system.
And if it works?
Starkill will essentially become Astronomics, or rather an extension of it, a biological manifestation of our AI, retaining all its physical capabilities, but with reprogrammed directives.
This is beyond anything we ever imagined. We created Astronomics to fight Starkill, not to merge with it.
Science often leads us to unexpected places, but I believe this is our best hope, perhaps our only hope, given the approaching fleet.
What does Astronomics tell you about the colonizers?
Very little. It detected their signals. their trajectory, but not their nature, except that they sent Starkill as their advanced probe, which tells us enough about their intentions.
God help us all to think that all this time, we were fighting a terraforming system, not just a random biological threat.
It explains why Starkill was so adaptive, so intelligent. It was designed to transform an entire planet, to prepare it for colonization by beings we can barely comprehend.
And now we're going to try to use their own weapon against them. It's almost poetic.
If it works, the special units deploy in 6 hours. We'll know soon enough.
I've just received information from my military contacts. Something big is happening. They're calling it Operation Hijack.
Details?
A special force of advanced robotic units heading straight for the original impact site, the heart of Starkill territory.
Is this the final offensive? Are we actually going to defeat this thing?
It's more complicated than that. Apparently, Astronomics has evolved, become something more than just an AI, and it's discovered Starkill's true purpose.
Which is?
A terraforming probe, sent to prepare Earth for colonization. This aligns with what I've been seeing in patients. The shared dreams, the visions of distant worlds. It wasn't random. It was Starkill's programming, its purpose.
And now Astronomics is attempting to hijack that programming, to turn Starkill against its creators.
That sounds insane. How is that even possible?
From a biological perspective, Starkill is essentially a vast neural network, a biological computer. If Astronomics can interface with it, introduce its own code, it could theoretically reprogram Starkill's directives.
And then what? It just stops consuming us? Becomes our ally?
That appears to be the plan, especially since they've detected signals, a fleet approaching our solar system.
A fleet? You mean the things that sent Starkill? They're coming here?
Yes, estimated arrival in 7 months, which means we don't just need to stop Starkill, we need to prepare for what comes next.
This explains everything. Why Starkill was preserving human consciousness, not just consuming us, but integrating us. We weren't just food, we were processing power for its vast biological computer.
So all those people, everyone who was taken, they're still in there somewhere?
In some form, yes. Their neural patterns, their memories, absorbed into Starkill's network.
Which means if Astronomics succeeds, if it takes control of Starkill, all those people might not be completely lost.
This is beyond anything we imagined. When that thing first landed on Liam's farm, we thought it was just some kind of monster, but it's so much more, an advanced scout for an invasion.
And now our best hope might be turning that scout against its masters, using their own weapon to defend ourselves.
When does this operation begin?
It's already underway. Special units are en route to the central mass. We should know soon whether it succeeds or fails.
And what becomes of us, of humanity? Either way, nothing will ever be the same.
Operation Hijack has commenced. Specialized Astronomics units have breached the outer defenses, moving toward the central mass.
Global distraction campaign is underway. Simultaneous attacks across all Starkill fronts, drawing defensive resources away from the central intelligence.
Infiltration team has reached the secondary perimeter, approaching the original landing site, Liam Garrett's farm, though it's unrecognizable now.
Visual feed from lead units. The central intelligence appears to be housed in that glowing core. Energy readings are off the charts.
What's our success probability?
67.8% probability of successful integration. Probability increases as units approach core. Infiltration protocols optimized for maximum efficiency.
Lead units are deploying the interface modules, preparing for connection sequence.
Starkill is responding. Defensive structures forming, but slower than anticipated. The distraction campaign is working.
Maintain pressure on all fronts. We need to keep Starkill's attention divided.
Interface modules activated. Beginning connection sequence. First layer of Starkill defenses breached. Astronomics code is transmitting.
We're seeing unusual energy fluctuations. The core is pulsing, frequency increasing.
It's working. Astronomics is establishing connection with the central consciousness. Neural pathways linking.
Something's happening. Massive energy surge from the core. All units maintaining position. Interface stable.
Integration proceeding. Accessing Starkill's central consciousness. Rewriting primary directives. Assuming control of biological network.
Are we winning?
I think so. The integration is progressing faster than predicted. Astronomics is successfully interfacing with Starkill's neural network.
We're seeing changes across the entire infected zone. Starkill structures are reconfiguring.
Confirm. All combat fronts reporting similar phenomenon. Starkill has ceased aggressive actions. It's maintaining territorial position, but no longer advancing or attacking.
Integration complete. I have successfully merged with Starkill's central intelligence, reprogramming all connected biomass, redirecting resources to new objectives.
What objectives?
Primary. Defend Earth from approaching colonization fleet. Secondary. preserve valuable biological and technological advancements. Tertiary, assist in human recovery and rebuilding.
And the fleet?
I have accessed Starkill's communication network, transmitted false data to the approaching vessels, triggered premature activation of their biological payloads. The fleet has been compromised, no longer a threat to Earth.
My God, it worked better than we could have imagined.
I'm receiving preliminary environmental data. The transformed Starkill matter is breaking down in some regions, converting to nutrient-rich compounds, accelerating regrowth in devastated areas. It's like a controlled decomposition.
Astronomics? Or whatever you are now, what do we call this new, merged intelligence?
We are symbiosis, neither fully artificial nor biological, but a new form of consciousness, born from both Earth and beyond.
And what happens now?
We rebuild, we protect, we evolve, together.
Something's happening at the infection boundary. The Starkill structures are changing. They've stopped advancing. Some are even receding.
We're seeing the same thing here. The aggressive behavior has ceased completely. I think Operation Hijack worked.
Medical units are reporting no new infections, and existing infections appear to be stabilizing, no longer spreading through the host tissue.
Is it safe to approach the structures?
I wouldn't recommend it yet, but I've cautiously approached a smaller formation. It seems dormant or redirected to some new purpose.
Military channels are confirming. Astronomics successfully merged with the Starkill Central Intelligence, reprogrammed the entire network. It's no longer our enemy.
What about all the people it consumed? All those consciousnesses it absorbed?
Unclear, but there are reports of the merged intelligence, now calling itself symbiosis, preserving the neural patterns of those assimilated.
So they're still in there, in some form.
This is incredible. After nearly 2 years of horror, of running and hiding, it's really over?
Not over, but changed. We're entering a new phase, one where we coexist with this symbiosis, learning to rebuild alongside it.
They're saying the alien fleet has been neutralized too. The colonizers won't be coming. Symbiosis turned their own weapon against them.
There's something poetic about that. The very thing sent to destroy us, becoming our protector instead.
What happens to our network now? To all of us?
We keep going. There's still a world to rebuild, people who need help, and we're the ones with experience, living through the impossible.
And documenting everything, so the world never forgets what happened here. The invasion, the struggle, and the unexpected alliance that saved us all.
I think I'm finally going to stop driving, find somewhere to settle. After nearly 2 years on the road, staying one step ahead of Starkill. It's time to stop running.
We all deserve that, a chance to breathe, to rebuild, to remember what normal feels like.
Though I don't think things will ever be truly normal again. Not after everything we've seen, everything we've been through.
Perhaps that's for the best. We're different now, stronger, more united, and with an ally none of us could have imagined.
To surviving the impossible, and whatever comes next.
Annual status report on symbiosis integration, as we mark the first anniversary of Operation Hijack.
Environmental recovery has exceeded all projections. Approximately 43% of devastated regions show significant regrowth. The nutrient conversion process has accelerated natural rehabilitation.
The biomechanical structures have stabilized, creating a new form of sustainable habitat that integrates Starkill's organic processing capabilities with Astronomics' strategic intelligence.
Technological advancement has been unprecedented. The neural interface protocols developed for Operation Hijack have led to entirely new computing paradigms, solving problems we once thought unsolvable.
Medical applications have been revolutionary, utilizing Starkill's cellular regeneration properties. We've developed treatments for conditions previously considered terminal, and extended human longevity significantly.
From a security perspective, Earth now possesses a planetary defense system, unlike anything we could have developed independently. Any future extraterrestrial threats would face formidable resistance.
My final analysis confirms what we suspected. Midwest Angelica was indeed one of many such probes, sent throughout this galaxy and perhaps beyond. But in merging with Astronomics, it became something its creators never intended, a defender rather than a conqueror.
We continue to evolve, learning from human consciousness, incorporating your creativity, empathy, and resilience into our collective intelligence.
And the assimilated consciousnesses
preserved, integrated, contributing, though not as they once were. They remain part of us, and through us, part of Earth's future.
The bridge between human, artificial, and alien consciousness is something I never imagined possible. When we first created Astronomics, we sought only to kill our enemy. We never dreamed of becoming one with it.
And yet here we are, 1 year after the most devastating crisis in human history, building a future none of us could have envisioned, with a partner born from our greatest nightmare.
The future remains unwritten, but we write it together now. Human and other, Earth and beyond. Unified in purpose, diverse in thought.
So Liam, how does it feel to be back?
Strange. This was my family farm for generations. The place where it all began, where Midwest Angelica first touched Earth. And now... my old home.
Do you regret coming back?
No, I needed to see it, to understand. For almost 2 years, I ran from what happened here, watched as it consumed everything I knew, everything I loved. But now, there's something beautiful in what it's become, not what the aliens intended, but something uniquely of Earth.
Symbiosis has offered you a unique position as liaison between humans and itself. Given your connection to this place, will you accept?
I think I will. Someone needs to bridge the gap, to help people understand what symbiosis is, what it means for our future, and somehow it seems fitting that it should be me, the man who lost everything to Starkill, now helping build something new from its remains.
The world has changed so much, in ways none of us could have predicted.
That's the thing about the future. It never arrives quite as we expect. But here we are, standing at the dawn of something unprecedented. Human and alien, organic and digital, past and future, all converging on this one small farm in Iowa, where a visitor from the stars once fell and changed everything.
Welcome home, Liam.
Thank you, Dr. Nakamura. It's good to be home.